Okay. Hi, this is BZ Rieger, and I'm from the IUV. And I wanted to have a conversation. Actually, I wanted to send out a bulletin to people if they were moved to do things. And I've been getting a lot of questions from various different emails, all sorts of places. And I also thought it'd be fun to have Lisa and Sheila come on because they had some questions. They had actually not questions. They had things that they were sharing that they were moved to do. And so I thought this would be a good way to give you the information that I felt moved to share. And then also we can have a short little side conversation about everything that other people are moved to share and do. And then people can take it and how they're moved to take it. So a lot of this references the purported case in Tennessee and references document 182 that I published yesterday on the IUV. It's a supporting letter, and you can go ahead to the IUV and see that, read that for yourself. It's prompted a lot of conversation on all different platforms and all different vehicles. What I feel energetically, it is a node point for each individual being that comes into contact with it. And what I mean then, it's kind of like what I wrote at the top of the post as a note for people. If anyone was ever looking for a DNA activation, this is a good one. So that's not about legal stuff. It's not about anything specific in the linear false construct. What we're talking about there is that there is a lot of love and energy and frequency that you can feel, even if you're not good at feeling things, in from coming in contact and then connecting with that particular letter. And in that connection and contact, something within you coalesces with that contact. So the something in you could be, doesn't make sense, or it could be more legal stuff, or it could be, well, that's cool, or it could be, wow. So since there's so many different beings and so many different perspectives and so many different apertures, right, and ways that they look at things, it could be so many different things. But it is a node point in that when you come into contact, you feel that you've arrived at something. You feel that you're at a crossroads. You feel that something is bubbling up, coming up within you, and you may know exactly what that is. You may tune into that exactly, or you may have no idea and think, well, wow, this is kind of weird. It could be rocking and rolling, earthquaking, shaking feeling. It could be bubbly effervescence. It could be, whoa, I can't, even process all the things that I'm feeling moved to do fast enough because there's so many things. So that sets the stage about the focus for this thought. And with all that coming through, and there was lots of things in myself personally feeling moved to do, then I was having some conversations, and I took a quantum shower this morning, and that was all about this and being moved to do. And this recording is one of those things that came through in the quantum shower. And I know Sheila and Lisa, I want to talk about what you guys have been moved to do as well in a moment. But I just wanted to start with saying in the room, the support room for Heather and Randy, Lisa, another Lisa, had mentioned that she was moved to support people if they were moved to do anything. And I can read her words here. Beezy, what do you feel about offering that anyone who would like to submit a letter into the record, send it to you within the next week? And because of the time frame listed on the docket text filed and entered number 183, which you can see in the post I'm referencing. It's at the bottom. That's the docket pull letter. So that would need to be received to me by the 14th of June. And you could, if you're moved to do any of that, I will set up an address and you can send that so that I can, it's all stuff right there. And actually, it will get it then forwarded to another address. So should someone want to take down that address, I can actually capture the stuff beforehand. So that's why things are in a convoluted way, in case the IUV goes south again. Anyways, send it to me within the next week. So the date is the 14th. And this is Lisa, the other Lisa speaking. I am happy to take them all and send them certified mail to get them into the record. Just feeling and thinking. So that's an example of someone feeling moved to do something about something. And so I said, great, did she want to write up something? And then I said, hang on, I got to go to work, so I'm going to take a shower. And then I came back and said, it's okay. I just had a quantum shower, and the feeling moved to do ... is flowing like a freight train of love. I'll see what I can squeeze in between work. So one other thought on that as examples of people feeling moved to do. Another person in there said, the words quantum shower nudged me to investigate ACH processing for my letter in support of Heather and Randy. And that being gives a link. So I'll put all of this in the blog post that references this, and people can see it there. So would you like to share what you guys have been moved to do, or how you're moving through your feeling of what you feel moved to do and playing with that before you even are moved to do something?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
I had a real visceral reaction to reading that letter, and on multiple levels and layers. And I felt a rush of love, really, just emanating from me. And for so many reasons, and there was just it was large for me. And it inspired me in ways that I haven't felt inspired before. So I've been sitting with how to proceed with those, and I want to take time with it. So yeah, I have been kind of sitting with, how do I want to proceed with my nudges, because I know I want to share this information, and I want to do it in a way that is really supportive of each. And I feel really excited that we're coming to a point now, it feels to me, that everybody matters. Everybody's voice is heard. Everybody has a share. And I just feel honored to step up and share in what's happening here on planet Earth, because I'm really proud of it and I'm really excited by what's happening. So yeah, it's really prompted a lot in me that I'm now sitting with and trying to honor in the best way possible. So it just feels like a very exciting moment right now. I have lots of excited energy.
That's a hallmark of a node point.
Okay.
And it's all about within you. So nothing, yeah. One way you could describe it is nothing else and no one else and no other circumstances, events, or happenings matter a whit, because it's all within you.
Yes. I feel that. Yes.
It's an inside job. And you just gave a beautiful example of just what that is.
Yeah.
Oh,
So for me, of course, the moment I I didn't even get to actually see it yet, but I tried to look at it on my phone, and my phone crashed. I was not at home, and the moment it opened, I had a rush. I knew I had the nudge. I have to rush home. I've got to record this. That's part of how my nudges come in.
Not even knowing what this was.
No, not even knowing what it was. Just knowing
that's a nudge. Just say, okay, that's the way I do. Okay, yep, someone will tell me what that is, but okay.
Well, that's exactly how, and quite frankly, this particular incident for me is an absolute first, in that I was not at home. I was sitting at a restaurant treating myself to my very first dinner out, just me and me, and in a restaurant sitting by myself, as I've never done this, which was kind of interesting in and of itself, and tried to look at it and crashed, but knew immediately that I had to, so got a to-go box, went home, and because I was very excited as well. Again, didn't know what was going on yet. And it was quite late already. And, you know, this couch back here is also a bed for college students. So like I said, it just didn't work out last night, but everything is perfect and perfectly done, as now we have this morning. However, I want to point out here that when I did get home and Lisa and I read it together, first of all, the first thing that hit me was, wow, we can actually do that. We can actually send a letter and have it be entered into the record of this case. I had no clue. So yay, first of all, because for me, that seemed hugely exciting, about the fact that that is actually a way for me personally to have what I'd like to say be entered into the public record in regards to this. Now that's for me personally. But so there was a lot of, like Lisa said, there's a lot that has come in on this, but all I knew immediately before even reading it was I had to get it recorded. And then after reading it, yeah, I've got to get it recorded. And just the idea for me personally in regards to writing a letter and having it entered into the public record felt marvelous to me. Because like I said, I didn't even know that was a possibility before this. It's interesting that you said that about the node point, because yes, yesterday seemed to be a huge node point day overall. I did not notice the date of the 14th in the docket, however, so that's another sign for me that this is a node point, as that means something specific to me. And I have a feeling that as each embodiment of source feels into this, if they are prompted or whatever, they will find little things like that surrounding this entire thing.
Because again, I'll reiterate, it's all about each individual being. And yes, everything out there, this letter, this purported court case, this whatever, is irrelevant, because it's all an inside job. And you can see this in previous recordings that the three of us have done, where there's one point where, these just recently, that Sheila's talking about, well, everything out there is a metaphor. I can see everything out there is a metaphor for me. And this is Sheila talking about her personally. So this is a moment where the metaphors are all over, and noticing how they relate directly back to you, because from one perspective, which is a very wide aperture perspective, there is only one being. There is only one soul. there is only one singularity of an individual embodiment being at this moment. And if that stretched your brain a little, okay, I'm sorry, but okay, coming back to our perspective. So one of the things I'd like to spend I want to keep this short, just a moment or two talking about some specifics that have come up in mind with me, where questions have come in when I've been thinking about the things I've been moved to do, and I can feel questions in the field and others coming at me because I have conversations with people all the time. We all do. It's a quantum thing. It's a multidimensional thing. And answering those. So, and this also plays into a couple of last recordings that the three of us have done where, an individual one that I did, you've got to choose. And then we talked about I think it's hard to do, to kind of balance what's going on. So past couple that I've done, just individual on IUV Quantum Playground, and then the three of us have done, would be good reference points, even just the title and the text that I put in describing them. So when you're feeling into what you feel moved to do, and in this example of this node point that we're talking about, which is document 182. Oh, and by the way, just a note, Sheila, you had said the 14th. The 14th, the date of June 14th, is my date that I'm giving because that fits into document number 183, where it says that people can do this within 14 days. So the 14th is not the 14th day. The 14th, if I get it, then I can pass it along to Lisa, the other Lisa, who can, sorry, I'm talking quantum speed, so who can then put them all out, and they have to go by registered mail. So it's going to be a little bit of a slow boat to get there. And that would then make sure that they get there at the time, that the linear time frame where they have to be received. So just on clarification for that.
Well, just on clarification of your clarification.
Why not?
We ought to really confuse them with that, huh?
Well, but for me personally, it wasn't a date necessarily. It's the number 14.
Perfect.
Period. So if there's two 14s, I just heard you talk about, so that's actually just makes it that much more powerful for me. So thank you.
Right. Okay, so that was just one side note. And then on the specifics, if you feel moved to do something and you feel moved to send it to me electronically, that can then be printed out on our nickel. We'll print them out, our nickel, Lisa's nickel, other Lisa's nickel. We'll print them out, and then she'll do what needs to be done to send them in so that they're sent, just as you can see as an example of one that has been done. Now, questions that come up, or I would rephrase this as, if any questions come up, if you feel moved to do something in this respect on this particular thing, this was this being this post that I made on the IUV, has elicited a feeling moved to do within you. And there's, whatever it is, excitement, or I got this bubbling sense, and then something else comes in. And it's the but or the what ifs, or I read a comment and they were pointing out things that could be wrong, or this or that, or whatever it is. So because this is all about each individual being and doesn't give a hang about document 182, this is all an inside job. Fabulous. Notice that. Because when you have that effervescent feeling, that excited feeling, that wow feeling, your heart is wide open. Wide open. And you are expanding and expanding and expanding in your energy level. Then when the next feeling, and so for some it doesn't even enter, okay? For some it does. And for some, it's not even next. It kind of came in before the other thing, and they squashed on top of each other. Of, well, how do I do that? Or I don't know how to do that. Or I don't know how to, or I could get in trouble, or whatever it is. Your heart is closed, absolutely closed. And your ego mind is taking control. Your ego mind is running the show. Another way to say that is all the programming, if you are into the us and them perspective of things, your masters have hit the button within you, and they're now programming you, and they got to zing you a little because the energies are such and people are waking up all the time and their program's not working so good anymore. Are zinging you with, no, pay attention. No, pay attention to that program we gave you. No, don't open your heart. Stop it. Okay. So regardless of whatever you feel moved to do and whatever you end up following through and doing, which could be a lot in whatever that is, or absolutely nothing, or backwards of absolutely nothing, going in the other direction, whatever that is, this is a marvelous opportunity to notice what goes on within you, because you can notice real time, and if you've already been kind of playing with this in the last 12 hours or so since I published the piece, feel back into that because you'll be brought up real time right with it again. You can notice the duality and the polarity right within you. You can notice where your heart is closed and your heart is open. You can notice how controlled you are, how delineated your whole thought process, your whole feeling process, your whole emotional process is absolutely controlled. And again, from the it's being done to me perspective, from something completely outside of you, and you're not the captain of your ship at all. So I bring that forward because I want to make sure that everybody understands that this, I didn't feel nudged to make this video because I'm telling someone what to do. I don't do that. It's not in my scope, and it's part of the non-interference clause. What I'm doing is bring this forward because this is a great way to illustrate this node point and how each individual being can just notice for themselves where you are, who actually you are, what the truth of who you are is, and where is the level of discordance, the level of discrepancy between the what your mouth may be saying, oh yeah, I'm awake, oh yeah, I'm this, oh yeah, I'm doing all these things, and the programming of your heart closed and the directives, I think is a good word, that are actually being beamed at you. Again, this is, talking about different perspectives that are being beamed at you to do the complete opposite. So see all sorts of previous videos about programming, about shielding on the programming to keep it from breaking, about noticing, about whatever. And suffice to say is, what do you feel moved to do in this particular moment on this particular subject or any other given subject? And where do you flow with your heart open? And if it's just kind of noticing what comes up and what else comes up from the heart and the lower mind, from the programming and the expansiveness, from the truth of who you are and the linear false construct of who you are, and you go, holy smokes, bravo, brava, that's fabulous. Because right in that moment, it was worth it all. So anybody else have anything to add?
Well, the only thing that I wanted to add in that is that when I began my internal journey, my going in within, as they all say, all the gurus out there say, this you got to go within as the only way to get out, so to speak. When I first started that, I was asking myself questions. That helped me bring things like I have the tendency to say right up here in my face, if I'm, no matter what it is, if it's a good feeling, if it's a fear feeling, what is this about? What within me is reacting to this? Is this a program for me personally? That was very helpful. And it has gotten faster and faster for me with each one of these node points to ask that question automatically of myself and recognize a program, a conditioning, something that just has always been, or I believed in this one over here because he had letters after his name, or whatever those things end up being. By asking myself those questions, it was just very helpful for me. And I wanted to, that's really all I wanted to share in regards to that. As this, I feel this is a node point as well.
Yes.
Cool.
How about you, Lisa? Did you want to?
Let's see, what could I add? You guys are both so thorough. Difficult. I have to agree with everything that was said here, for sure. And I'm really noticing too that the more I follow these nudges that I have and my internal promptings, the more exciting my life is and the happier that I am. And so I've really dedicated myself to doing what Sheila said and really getting to the bottom of each moment of now and feeling my way through it. And the way I feel at this moment of now, that this is a choice point for me to choose to really open my heart and fall in or not. And so I'm opening the heart and I'm free falling. It feels wonderful.
Cool. So in the post with this video, and I'll link it to the document 182 post, there'll be some linear instructions if you feel moved to do something and relates to document 182 and the nudge that the other Lisa had mentioned, which I read. And other than that, have fun, play, and notice what you see noticing. Much love.
Much love.